Hey guys, thanks for joining me for another Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia video. Today we're going to do a should you poll on the Braska and Ace banner. So these are dropping in just a few days after the time of recording this video. So one banner here is going to have Braska, Irvine, and Trey. And the other banner is going to have Ace, Kadaj, and Lulu, right? So let's go ahead and start on the Braska side. So Irvine and Trey, they're not the craziest. I would say Trey definitely has some value because he is a trap-based character. So as an LD only character, I think you can get away with using Trey. His damage won't be great, but the fact that he has off-turn that scales with force and that he can trigger a lot of really good force times that do like off-turn or trap effects, I think Trey has some value, but I don't think he's worth chasing. Irvine, he really doesn't have any value at all right now. He's just not a viable character, unfortunately, being LD only. He just doesn't, he's not doing a ton right now that you're going to want to like use him. He doesn't do enough that you would want to use him over, say, an Echo character, right? Whereas Trey, I think, does just enough where you could, you could make him usable, but I don't think you could really justify using Irvine right now. Braska, if you're not familiar, he is a fire damage dealer. Well, I won't call him a damage dealer, but he deals fire damage, but he's mainly like a support healing character, so he does do a lot of that, right? Braska is one of the oldest FR characters in the game. I want to say he's maybe only the second or maybe third one that ever came out. What he's getting here is a rework where he is getting a new BT weapon. The BT weapon is definitely nice for him because he does get like now off-turn attacks. Like, so at the start of his turn, he's going to do like a big Ject Beam that'll do a lot of damage, right? And he can force charge and he can heal. So Braska does like pretty much most of the things you want out of a support character. The problem with Braska, I feel like there's just too many other good support characters that outclass him. If you want to use him though, like he's going to be fine, like you definitely can get away with him. But for me personally, I would say this banner is actually probably a pretty easy skip. The only players I could maybe recommend it for are players lacking support characters, but there's literally a banner with Penelo and Aerith on it, and I kind of like both of them better than Braska, to be honest. So I really don't see any need to summon on this, to be honest, unless you're a fan of Braska and really want to use him. Or if you just want more support characters, like definitely, like more support characters is better than having too many DPS characters. So I could see some justification there. The other reason why I'm going to shy away from advising people to summon on this is the next banner after this is the question mark intersecting wheels banner. So we actually don't know what it is. Because it's a question mark, it could be something pretty hype. And a lot of us are thinking it's going to be Sephiroth and Aranea. And if that's the case, that's going to be a very strong banner to summon on. But the other thing that's kind of exciting is they could just throw something new at us. We technically don't know for sure, right? They could throw something pretty cool in there. So I would say, especially if you're low on resources, summoning on this before that banner drops, to me, actually seems kind of foolish, especially since there are very strong banners out right now. Like the Beatrix banner is very strong, the Aerith Penelo banner is very strong. So unless you are like really abundant in resources, I really can't justify telling people to pull on this, right? Then on this side we have Ace, and then we've got Kadaj and Lulu. I will say right away, Lulu's call has value because Fire Enchant is not the easiest thing to get a hold of. And this is a party, and I believe it is a true fire enchant on the call. So it is very good for if you're tackling a fight that wants fire. And I don't know what the fight looks like, but I can almost guarantee you that this fight is going to ask you to deal fire damage with an FR weapon. So Lulu Call is an excellent way if you don't want to like summon for Braska, and if you don't have another fire damage dealer to run. Lulu Calls can be a really easy way that you can run whatever your best damage dealer is, as long as they're even if they're elemental, because Lulu should be able to overwrite with True Enchant, right? So Lulu is kind of like your cheat code to make somebody fire when you don't want to run fire on the team. So I do think her call has value, right? Kadaj is a really cool character, but his main role is DPS. He does have like some really good debuffs, but his main role is DPS, and until he gets FRBT, he's not going to be viable. But I think Kadaj in the future is going to look really good, but right now I don't think you're going to run him. One thing I will say about Kadaj, and I do have a character guide on him if you want to check it out, he's very unique in that he can apply gold buffs, and he can get more gold buffs than other characters through different strategies, right? So it's kind of cool because he can kind of, because he has, I believe his LD will turn any of his buffs into gold buffs, and you can give him like different buffs with calls that normally he wouldn't have, and then he can like gold frame them. So it's kind of cool. You can do gold frame buff shenanigans with Kadaj, which I like, but he's not like anything you should be chasing right now. Now, Ace is a very cool character, and he's a character that a lot of people have liked in the game. And through different iterations, Ace has been very good. Ace is a trap-based character, and we all know how powerful traps can be. I think the biggest downfall people didn't like with Ace in this iteration is I believe they did not buff the actual damage on the traps, which I think people are disappointed in. I could be wrong on that, but I believe that's what I'm hearing, is his traps actually are not buffed. Now, the rest of his kit, sure, he's going to do more damage on his attacks and things like that. But even with that, I think Ace probably isn't worth going in on here. And the reason why is it's kind of similar to Braska, where like Ace and Braska, are they bad? No, they're not bad. They're good in what they do. But I would say if you're looking at Ace, I believe there are way better DPS options right now. Once again, we can look at the Lightning Beatrix banner. I kind of like both of those characters better than Ace right now. And I'm an Ace fan. Like, I like Ace. But I gotta be honest, there's just way better things right now. And obviously we got Astos coming, right? And if you're, I mean, Ace is, you know, if you like doing off turn, like he's gonna have an off turn FR that's gonna be very, very cool. But yeah, I just don't know that I can recommend Ace right now. And it's the same thing that I was talking about with Braska, where like there are better support options on banners right now. With Ace, I think there's better DPS characters on banners. And I think with Astos, there's obviously like the best one is coming. And the same argument that I said before, we've got this really hype potential intersecting wheels banner coming next. It's really not a good time, especially if you're low on resources. I think these two banners are actually very easy skips. So I'm going to recommend people not really summon on these unless these characters are a fan favorite and you like them and want to play with them. Like, they're going to be fine. But once again, the perspective of should you pull is players without a lot of resources, players that just want general guidance on the meta. I would say if you're summoning for meta, I think these are both very skippable. Wait and see. At the very least, if you're on the fence, wait and see what the intersecting wheels is, and then maybe base your decision on that, right? So anyways, you guys can let me know if you're going to summon or not. So my plan on this, this is one because my resources ticket-wise are good, and I do have Ace Green with BT. The thing I kind of like to do is if I already have like the tough part of a character's kit done, which is the BT, I do like to get the FR to complete them. So I probably will ticket here for Ace FR just because I will get him complete. Braska, I don't think I'm going to touch. I definitely am not going to chase BT. I've already got his FR. So I think I'm content living with Braska FR only. And then Ace maybe getting the FR to complete the kit. But that's only because I actually have a lot of tickets right now. And I'm kind of free to burn some of those. And I think ticketing for one FR should not, I would expect to get that within 200 to 300 tickets. So I think that's going to be my plan. You can let me know what your plan is, but once again, if you're a player without an abundant amount of resources, I really think these are both skippable. So anyways, thanks for watching. We'll catch you all on the next one.